And I know that you're an ardent plotter. Is that right?
I am now.
Was that not true when you started the original draft of Sea of Kings?
No, I did not really know what I was doing when I started Sea of Kings. And gosh, that's why it took me so long, is because I kind of had to teach myself how to write a book. I had done a bachelor's degree in English. I'd done creative writing classes. I loved doing that. I read all the time. But for some reason, writing that first book was just really difficult because I hadn't really had something that was like a straight plan of this is exactly how you write a book. And there isn't always one way to do something, but there are techniques that you can use, and there is a structure that you can use that I had to kind of figure out on my own. But now I just recommend that everybody reads Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. Well, she rewrote it. It was originally Save the Cat, and then she wrote Save the Cat Writes a Novel, so it was for novelists, but it was originally for screenplays. It's a life changer, that book.
How far into your writing career were you when you finally discovered it?
I had already gotten an agent for Sea of Kings, so it was pretty far into it. And so I had like figured out all of the steps that are in that book, like, the inciting incident and the midpoint and all of these like really crucial points in a story that need to be there. I kind of figured that out on my own by analyzing stories all day long. But I wish I had this years ago because I could have, saved myself some time.
I mean, some people just have to come up on the rough side of the mountain, I guess. But it's good that you're out there and you're spreading awareness so that other writers will have that, and they'll maybe shave a couple of years off their process. Although I don't know, you have to. This is Malcolm's Gladwell quote. You have to write for however many hours before you get good at it.
Yeah, was it 10,000 hours?
That sounds right.
Yes.
Yes. Who would possibly Google that? Yes, it was absolutely 10,000 hours.
Yeah, and I agree with that too, because if I did have this book, I know I could have written a book faster, but I don't know that it would have been the quality that it is now, because I did grow a lot from years and years of writing. And not just this book. I've written a couple other books that haven't been published, but you practice, and practice makes perfect. So just kind of work at it.
So how many drafts from that first draft where you're learning how everything goes to now the full polished version that's out for everybody? Do you have an estimate for how many drafts that would have taken?
It's embarrassingly high. Do you really want to know?
I do, but not if it's going to embarrass you. We can edit this out and move right on.
Okay, well, it's not that embarrassing that you'd have to edit it, but I guess I can say, I don't know the exact number, but it was over, I think it was around like 28.
Well, that's not bad at all.
That's not bad?
That's highly reasonable. I don't know. I have to do a lot of rewrites, especially on some of my earlier projects. I really had to get in there, and I had one that had to be approaching 100 by the time I did all the revisions. So many different agents and editors suggested that ping-ponged around. Plus critique groups, and when you have a book like that you're writing and rewriting over many years, that is your book that you're kind of learning writing on, 28 drafts is, I think, relatively small.
Okay, that makes me feel better, because I had just been talking to another author who wrote middle grade, and she's not on her first book. I think it was like her 5th or something, but she said it took her 4 drafts, and she sounded, it was like a big deal, like, oh, I can't believe it took me 4 drafts. I'm like, yikes. I took way more than 4 drafts to write mine. But
well, I mean, for your more recent, well, this is you learn things as you go. Hopefully, you get better at it. So, for the more recent books that you've written but haven't yet published, how many drafts would you be on for the average there?
Oh, I've only done like two to three drafts for each of those. So I imagine I'll be doing a lot more if I want to start pursuing publishing them.
The other thing, I make this joke a lot, so I apologize to the esteemed audience who's heard it. That's your reward for being a faithful listener. But I always say that if I ever have two successful authors look at me and say, Rob, I do this the exact same time every time, and I'm always successful with this method, and another author says that as well, I'm going to throw out everything I know about writing, and I'm doing that from now on. So far, it hasn't.
That's a good point. Yeah, everybody is going to get there a different way. So that was just my way. For that book, in fact, I think for even every book, because you've published more than one book, was the process different for each one?
Yeah, unfortunately, even books within a series like Banneker Bones, each one of those had its own unique challenges and its own demands of ways I had to work on it and approach the story. Plus, unfortunately, I changed as well. We all do, and that's one reason I think that you're keen on why writers should finish their first draft within 3 months or so, and get it knocked out. Because if you drag on for a year and a half, you're a different person. You're in a different mindset by the time you're getting there near the end. Well, over 3 books, that's for me, because I'm a bit of a slow writer. That's 3-4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, you change, your writing changes, and you might even forget like who the characters are if you wait too long to finish the first draft.